Every topic you hear, every speaker you hear from, every person you meet has value.
There are some conferences that talk about content marketing, but they're very broad strokes. This is inspirational as well as very tactical.
When you come here, you get to learn from day-to-day practitioners that are in the weeds, that are doing the hard work.
There's just so many things changing so quickly, and every single thing on the agenda was something that I said, that's something I want to know more about.
There's so many speakers and so many sessions, it's hard to pick which one to go to next.
Hello, everyone. It's Amanda from the Content Marketing Institute. I'm so happy you can join us this afternoon for our special Content Marketing World edition of Live with CMI. And I'm so excited, as usual, to be joined by my colleague, JK Kalinowski. JK, it's hard to believe, but we are just 3 weeks away from Content Marketing World.
Time does fly, does it not? It just seems like it's on top of us, and I am so excited. And I can tell, like, you and I didn't even chat about this, but we both have our Content Marketing World superhero shirts on today. We're ready to roll. Yes, 3 weeks. Can you believe it? I mean, we are in the thick of it right now, getting a fantastic show ready for everybody. So very excited.
Yes, absolutely. And as we gear up for CMWorld 24, and we'll be in San Diego, October 21st through the 23rd. And over the next 3 Tuesdays here at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be interviewing a few of our awesome speakers, right, JK?
That's right. And, today we're kicking off with a great one. The one and only Tamsen Webster will be here chatting about fundamentals of message design, which is based on what she's going to be speaking about at Content Marketing World. It's going to be a great topic.
Awesome. And before we get to all of that, we want you to know this live stream, as always, is brought to you by the Content Marketing Institute. We are the leading training and education for, you guessed it, all things content and marketing. You can head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com for tons of great resources. And of course, the one big thing that we do here at CMI is we put on the best party of the year at Content Marketing World. And the final countdown is on, as we have been talking about here. And if you don't know this, we've said it a few times on the live stream if you've been here, but we are so excited because Issa Rae will be our closing keynote speaker there. And she'll be interviewed by, this is also very exciting, Aisha Harris, the co-host of NPR's Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast. So 2 incredible women, 1 great stage, as well as all the other awesome speakers that we have. And if you want to register, you can use the code LIVE100 to save an extra 100 on the registration. And of course, if you are going to be there, JK and I would love to know so we can actually meet you in real life. So as you join us today, be sure to give us a virtual wave, say hello, let us know where you're joining us from. We really want to hear from all of you. It makes for a more engaging live stream. So please, for sure, to drop a question or a comment in the comment section as we go along, and we will get to it as best we can. So let's kick things off with the question of the day, JK.
All right. Well, let's do something, considering it's Content Marketing World focused. Let's do something a little different today. If you are coming to Content Marketing World, we would love for you to drop into the comments and share one of your favorite things about attending our conference. Anything that you love. It could be the community, the tracks, whatever. We'd love to hear from you. And then, but if you've never been to our conference, share with us like what conferences that you go to, which ones you like, what in a marketing conference, what do you like to see? What do you like to hear? We would love to hear from you, please. So hit us up in the comment section. Hey,
Yes,
Kim.
we have, we have joining
Andy
us.
and Kim, hi.
Yeah, Andy is looking forward to hering from Tamsen, and she said, I want to meet you in real life. Yes, Andy. Andy will be there as well. Speaking, I believe, Andy, correct? Yes, we will look forward to seeing you as well.
Of course.
Kim is a member of our team here, and she actually, lucky for her, she's in California. So for once, she gets to not have a horrible travel experience. And
Kim, Kim might be like actually jogging there.
She's going to be like laughing at us because those poor West Coasters are always like so tired at Content Marketing World. And now she's going to be laughing at the rest of us who will be a little tired there. So, yes, drop it in the comments here. We love, yes, Andy is speaking. So Andy is one of our awesome speakers as well. So let's move on to our guest today. Our staff has been working hard all year long to put together the best conference possible. We have 100+ sessions and keynotes presented by trailblazing content marketers from around the world, covering every aspect you can think of content and marketing. So you can customize your experience, right, JK?
That's right. And joining us today is one of those trailblazers, Tamsen Webster. She's the founder of Message Design Institute, as well as a keynote speaker and author. How's it going, Tamsen?
Oh, I am so excited to be here and to be going to San Diego. Like, life is good right now.
Awesome.
And Tamsen's session at Content Marketing World is going to be called Built for Buy-In, the Fundamentals of Message Design. Tamsen, how many years do you think you've been at Content Marketing World now?
I think this is probably 10 or 11. Or across 10 or 11 years. So I think probably actual attended conferences, let's say 8. I know. I'm sure someone could like put a lie to that, but I think it's 8. So.
I think you're on our little all-stars list.
Damn, I made the all-stars list.
I name in lights.
Yay! Blink, 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 blink.
Yeah. You've definitely been on the keynote stage before.
Yes,
so
I know.
Yes. All right. So let's dive into what your session is going to be at Content Marketing World. So when it comes to marketing, what are some of the biggest mistakes you see marketers make with their messaging?
So I think I was thinking about this and how did I want to frame this? Because it's actually really important to me to operate from a position of saying, hey, all of us as marketers are like smart, capable, good people. So anything that we're doing is usually not because it's wrong per se. It just may not be the best thing that we're trying to do in the moment. That said, I would say that the biggest category of this is that we focus so much on getting attention that sometimes we ignore what we need to be doing to keep it. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited to talk to people about at Content Marketing World this year, because what's really significant is that the things that keep attention also get it, but the reverse isn't always true.
Good point.
Interesting. It's very interesting. So, okay, so let's talk about messaging a little bit.
Yeah.
So should you lead with the message and then find the audience for it? Or conversely, do you do the opposite? Should you find your audience and then fit your message to it?
So perhaps counterculturally, I actually believe that you should start with your message and find the audience for it. This is going to sound like, if you know me, then you know that I sometimes find like totally random metaphors. But the one that comes to mind is, you know, starlings, those black birds that go in these like big murmurations, which is such a beautiful word. And so there's this thing about starlings when it comes to mating season, and that is that the male starlings do a very special dance, and every male starling's dance is a little bit different. But the female starling, so they'll see like male starling dance after male starling dance after male starling dance. And then all of a sudden in that moment is like, oh, that's my starling. And that's really how I have seen now over 25 years of working in message design, that ends up being the strongest way to think about how you approach it, which is you work on the best version of your Starling dance, your message that you can possibly get. And when you are really, really good at that and you are just living that message and that dance, it will pull the right people to you. It doesn't mean you don't need to go out and market and all of that, but so often I think we start to figure out, well, what do we need to do to get these people, rather than saying, who are the people who will get us and how do we find them?
Interesting. So let me ask you this, because
Okay.
I love the metaphor, because the Starling dance.
Everyone's going to do a little Starling dance. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So, okay, so you got your Starling dance.
Yeah.
So what elements go into crafting a core message that our like ideal audience would like care about? So
Yeah. So
what
I
dance
mean,
moves are you adding?
yeah, exactly. So you're like, what's happening there? All right. So it sounds obvious. And yet, if we stop and think about it, it doesn't happen very often. And the thing is, we want to build our message with things that our audience is already into. And what I mean by that is, so when it comes to a core message, what they need to hear in the audience, in that message, is they need to hear an outcome that they are actively and knowingly looking for right now. And I would say, back to some of the things that maybe we don't get quite right in our marketing, is that a lot of emphasis, I would say, particularly over the last 5 or 10 years, has been focusing on what the real problem is. But I would love to have at Content Marketing World, a debate with an SEO person, because I would think, again, just based on human nature, if they don't know they have the problem, how are they going to know that you're going to help them solve it? So I spend a lot of time with my clients, and we're going to talk about this in my session at Content Marketing World, really identifying what the core question is that your message, that your offerings, your brand answers. And that needs to be an urgent, important question that your audience is actively and knowingly asking right now. You're not going to differentiate on that question, because that's how you get into their consideration set. But where you are going to differentiate is on the other half of that core message. And that is your defensible, differentiated answer to that question. Those two, both parts, are required to have as strong of a core message you could possibly have.
Wow. You talked a little bit about short-lived messaging tactics, right? Which
Yes.
a lot of us do.
Yeah.
Versus designing like the big persuasive messaging that'll last the long haul. So
Yeah.
what is that? What's that difference?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest hallmark that you're playing a short-term game when it comes to keeping attention, getting and keeping attention, is whether or not you are activating and increasing your audience's anxiety. Whether that is from a position of pain or from a position of fear or a position or a fear of loss, the more you dial that up, granted, the more someone is likely to act, but whether you're looking at neurobiology or you're talking about psychology, a decision that is made out of fear or anxiety is by definition not a rational decision. Which means that the moment that person calms down and that moment gets into a situation where they actually have to kind of rationalize that decision to themselves, or worse, to someone else, like their boss, all of a sudden they're like, whoa, 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 no, nope, 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 nope. Not only will they back off the decision, they will probably also turn on the marketer, the brand, the salesperson that made them feel that way in the first place.
Wow. I feel like there's a lot in there, like just with our political environment, like
oh, just maybe, yeah, exactly. And well, I mean, without going either direction, I mean, generally, when we're talking about getting people to act and to believe, right? So I'm all about buy-in, which I define as getting, is the situation where somebody believes enough in something to act on it. No matter whether we're talking about marketing or we're talking about politics or we're just talking about, who lives in our life, the folks that can build a better argument, right? Tell a better story that aligns with how we see the world is always going to be more successful. And that's the thing that I've talked about a long time. Like that's my keynote at Content Marketing World several years ago was very much about that. But it really does come down to thinking about what are your longer term goals with these folks, right? And I think, one of the things that we often hear as marketers is from sales saying like, you got to get us better qualified leads, get us better qualified leads. Like we want people who will actually say yes, not just once, but will follow through, right? And as marketers, we want people who aren't just like clicking once, but are going down that funnel. They're getting more and more engaged. People don't like, if you walked into a dark room that was scary to you, would you continue to walk through it? No. Like it's just, if we just step out of it for a minute, we're like, this is insane what we're asking people to do. It's not how people operate. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean that I'm not saying we shouldn't mention the pain or the discomfort or the fear or anxiety someone is already experiencing. But that's different than creating anxiety, inducing anxiety so that you're then magically in a position to relieve it. That, aside from the moral and ethical considerations, which are not aside from me personally, it doesn't work long term. You're going to have to keep doing that work. And with all the years I've spent in marketing, I've yet to meet a marketer that has ever felt like they have enough time or money to have to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Absolutely. Andy says, build advocates, not just customers.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's finding your people. And I know that sounds, to borrow a phrase from my friend Laura Belgray, like woo adjacent, but again, and it comes from, I love that phrase from her. I'm like, I'm not fully woo-woo, but it's like woo adjacent. Finding your people, like, again, it goes back to the starlings, right? Like it's finding the folks that are truly aligned with you. And this is one of those places where it isn't just, and this is part of the other thing that we'll be talking about in my session at Content Marketing World is not just that core message, but what's your core case for it? What is the reasoning behind it? Yeah. So there's a quote in my new book that comes from Zora Neale Thurston's "Their Eyes Were Watching God," and I'm not going to try to do the dialect of it, but she says there's, what's the use of my telling you something if I don't give you the understanding to go along with it? And this is where not only is it necessary for folks to get that longer term kind of belief and agreement and alignment that we're talking about in the first place, it is what creates those long-term relationships with your advocates, your customers, et cetera. Because it isn't just, thank goodness for Simon Sinek, who kind of helped us all understand that how important it is for people to understand why we're doing something. But one way you can think of that is as if that why is like, that's the outcome, right? Like that's why you're doing what you're doing. We're agreeing on the ends. And of course, if somebody doesn't want that outcome, they're not your people. And there are plenty of times when there are people, when there's brands, people, movements, et cetera. Well, you agree on what the ends are, but you do not agree on the means or why they're using those means in that way. And so that's why this other layer is so important, because that's where true alignment, true advocacy, true loyalty builds, is when, again, you don't just love what a company or a brand does or produces. You love the way they do it, and you love why they do it that way. And we don't spend nearly enough time, identifying that, nor absolutely don't spend enough time, or digital pixels or otherwise, putting it out there for people to see, absorb, and react to.
It's seriously, it's almost like a walk the walk kind of scenario.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you think about it, it is in a lot of ways the easiest thing to do, right? Is just to say, here is what we already do that's great, and here's why we do it this way. And I say it's the easiest thing to do because it's what you've been doing. There are these deeper reasons about why, even if it's a new company, or even if it started as a competitor or whatever, like there's a reason why, any new social media marketing platform that comes along decides that the world needs another one, right? That there's something that they feel is not being met in what's already out there. And a lot of times we don't make that explicit because we assume that, well, other people must see these problems with the other things too. And they don't really until you explain it to them. I mean, one of the things that, and I'll use this example in my talk as well, is like when the iPod was released, right? Nobody was generally not looking for a digital MP3 player. They weren't. And they weren't even really looking for a better way to carry their music with them. But if you think about all the other options for bringing your music with you that were available at the time, each one had something that was kind of not awesome about it, right? And so they decided to go for the two things that they thought were going to be most awesome when it came around to like taking music with you, which is maximum variety, but also maximum variety that could go anywhere because it was maximum portability as well. So those are those things where unless you go one layer underneath, you don't just say, hey, we've got a better way to carry music with you, full stop. And a lot of marketing is like that, by the way. We've got a better way to slice bread. And it's better. Why? We go deeper, right? And we say, because this, right? And that's what we're going to be really focusing on in my session at Content Marketing World.
It's fantastic.
So if we're, leaving everyone today with a thought, like you have 9 principles that you talk about, which I'm sure you address in your session, but, if there's a couple things you want people to think about to at least help them get started on better messaging, what would that be?
So the big idea behind all of this is that the best way to build buy-in is to build a story that people that can tell themselves, right? That's based on what your ideal audience has already bought into. Meaning, what is that question that they are actively and knowingly asking right now for which your brand, your offering, your product is a legitimate answer? And then second, support why that is a better answer based on principles that your audience already actively agrees with. And I know that sounds like, well, how does that turn into something new? But again, neither variety nor portability were new, but you put them together and all of a sudden you have something that changes the industry.
Awesome. So what else? I know your session will be packed. What else can attendees from your presentation at CMWorld?
Well, this is really designed to be not only introduce people to these ideas, but really start to give them steps that they can take to take the next step from here. So we'll be working through a worksheet. I call it the Message Foundation worksheet, also known as the buy-in blueprint. And so they'll leave with an actual tool to be able to start doing this work internally with their own organizations as well.
Awesome. What do you love most about Content Marketing World? You've been there so much.
Oh, I know. I mean, I love any place like that where I get to add to my inputs, which is a totally nerdy way to put it.
I love that.
But it's just like, I am relentlessly pattern driven. You might have been able to tell. And the more inputs I get, like the more interesting patterns I start to see. So I love Content Marketing World for that reason, because it is so focused on this area of this whole larger idea of how do we pull people to us, right? Rather than push, but how do we pull people to us? That there's in every session, there is something I was like, oh, never thought about it that way. Or, oh, there's a new piece of information that I can do something with, even if I don't know how to use it quite yet. And usually by the end, I'm just brimming with new ideas about, what to try, what will work, something else to, put a stake in the ground and say, let's do this instead.
Or the people you talk to, like some of the people.
Oh, well, I don't mean to ignore that. Like I know, it's not like the ideas are just floating out there and I'm like, oh, let me get them. Thankfully it is. I mean, I think content marketers are just good people. And again, but I don't think that's an accident. Remember what I was saying about the reason why we stay with things is because we feel aligned with them. And content marketing at its heart, again, is not about push. It's not about like, yes, we need to put our things out there, but it's so that it pulls. And that's a different mindset than other forms of marketing. And so I think that's why the group of folks that come to Content Marketing World does feel different and special. And a lot of times people feel like they've kind of found their marketing home. It's because that there's that aspect of how to market, I think, that pulls people that have kind of this connection, no matter what our backgrounds might be, no matter what our political affiliations might be, no matter what any of this else comes from. There is something that connects us that says we believe there's a better way to get the right people to find us. And that is putting the best of us out there so that the best of who we want comes and finds us.
Oh, I love that. It's a great way to put it.
I think I'm going to put that all on a t-shirt.
Yeah, like a big block of text. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, you'll be busy from now until Content Marketing World because you have a new book coming out.
I do. Yes, it launches in a week, T-minus. Yeah, so it launches next Tuesday, available wherever books are sold. And it's called Say What They Can't Unhear, the 9 Principles of Lasting Change. And you can also think about it as, subtitle is the 9 things every content marketer needs to know about people in order to build the buy-in that you want.
Awesome. And they could probably go to tamsenwebster.com.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if they can't remember the title of the book, they can find it on my website. They can find it at littlechangebooks.com. Because it is a little change book.
Oh, look at it.
I know, it's sweet, right? It's like a little pocket full of change. Yes, they could do that. And also messagedesigninstitute.com is another place they can find it.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, Tamsen. We'll be excited to see you again in San Diego in a few short weeks.
I can't wait. Yeah, thanks so much, JK and Amanda. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Awesome.
How fun was that?
Yeah.
Like I'm spinning right now. There's just such, I'm like, I hope I'm not double booked because I want to go to that session.
Yes, for sure. Well, since this is the Content Marketing World edition of Live with CMI, today we want to chat a bit more about why you think you should, we think that you should attend, right, JK?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, come on, it's Content Marketing World. One of the biggest reasons people decide to attend our event is because of the community. I mean, let's say people have made lifelong friends, found new jobs, discovered new business partners, all at Content Marketing World. I know personally that I've made friends over the past decade and a half that I still talk to once a week, and they're halfway across the world. It's just fantastic.
We have 2 friends of ours, Bert and AJ, who came separately from the Netherlands to Content Marketing World, met for the first time, and then when they went back, they ended up becoming business partners and great friends, all because they met at Content Marketing World. So here's a little video to show you a little bit more about our community.
What I love about Content Marketing World is the community.
I didn't realize how many content marketers there are of us out there.
It's a really vibrant community of people that take what they do very seriously but have a lot of fun doing it.
What surprised me is just how welcoming and friendly everybody is.
I really want to emphasize the inclusiveness and the warmth that's here.
The human-to-human interaction and the community feel that exists at Content Marketing World is second to none.
Content Marketing World has a very distinct and unique culture, which for me is the biggest draw.
The networking aspect has been absolutely phenomenal. Everyone here is just so eager to learn and reach out.
So you're not only learning from the speakers, but you're learning from the people that are sitting right next to you in the room.
You build lifelong friendships. I have some friendships here that every year it's like coming home and coming back to family.
You come back to people who understand you, who understand your job, who understand the challenges you're facing, and you can't do that at any other conference.
Last night, and we're sitting there and we're just at a table and people just keep approaching, and it's just like a revolving door of just hey, how are you? What do you do? How can we help each other?
I find the vibe and the atmosphere here, it's really conducive to growing and learning and sharing.
It really doesn't feel like networking. It just feels like we're all content marketers and we're just here to learn, share.
You don't feel alone here. All you need to do is open your mouth and you're received very welcomely.
And it doesn't just stop here. I can connect with those people at any time throughout the year.
It is an insane group of people. I can't believe you're considering not coming. You need to get here.
That gets me so excited.
And one of these times, Andy said she met her book cover designer. One of these times, Andy, I'm going to figure out how to bring you on camera here, and you're going to since you we love it that you
cover, by the way.
What?
It's a great book cover, by the way. Just watching that video, like I said, it gets me so excited, and it just kind of, what you put together for the video just kind of reiterates what Tamsen was saying there at the end. You hear so many people talking, and content marketers are so outgoing, and marketers in general. But our community, if you're a stranger at Content Marketing World, it's very odd. You're going to end up talking to someone and making new friends. That's for sure.
Yes, definitely. And here are a few more reasons we think you should come. One reason, San Diego. Gorgeous right there in the middle there is the convention center. That's where we will be all day, right on the water.
Oh, look at that.
So it's absolutely gorgeous. The venue, the convention center is right there. And we went a few years ago for our other event that was out there, and it was my first time there, and I absolutely fell in love with San Diego.
It's truly one of my favorite cities in the world.
Just walking
perfect
there.
weather, and you can just walk anywhere. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
One other reason we would love you to come. I'm on here. I don't know if I can make this big. Here we go.
There you go.
Our networking opportunities. There's so many opportunities at Content Marketing World. We even have like a special meetup for our community members and like all of you who join us on the live stream. And that includes everyone here. And we have back again this year, we are doing our Yappy Hour, which is a local rescue, brings in some dogs and everyone gets to have a little puppy love. We had so much fun doing this a couple years ago. So we are bringing it back, and we'll be working with the amazing Strays Rescue. How popular was that, JK?
Oh my gosh. I think people were almost late for sessions, or I think it was like at the end of the day, and we were supposed to go to a party, but people just kept sticking around. The line was insane to go up to pet the dogs. It was just so wonderful. And the dogs were just beautiful and friendly, and everybody had a blast.
Yes. So that'll be fun. And we'll be talking about more over the coming weeks, some other fun stuff that we have planned. Another one is, if you didn't notice by any of our branding here or in that video I showed, but we like the color orange, right, JK?
Yeah. Hey, look who it is. Yes, we do. We like it so much that years ago, we actually created a group of people that we all noticed we were all wearing orange pants on the same day. So, so we started a little internal group at Content Marketing World called the Orange Pants Society. And now yours truly carries around a bag of buttons that I give you a little flair. If I notice somebody wearing orange pants at the show, you become an official member of the Orange Pants Society, which just basically gets you a really cool look. You get to wear really cool orange pants and get a high five from me and a button for you. But no, we have a lot of fun with it.
Orange pants now, like orange is in. So it's a great, now's the time. We have orange shoes. We also this year, we'll talk a little bit more at this. We're going to do our fun bracelets again, where we all trade Content Marketing World bracelets. So Andy says Andy doesn't have orange pants. She says she's got to find some orange pants, but Yes, or if you come, you have to wear even just a little bit of orange.
Yeah, come on.
Right?
Oh, those are so awesome. I need to get one of those this year. I didn't get one last year.
You got to go get the girls and get some of the beads and start making bracelets.
Yeah, I think I got to put Miss Ella to work. My daughter Ella loves making these things, so maybe I'll have her make a whole bunch for me.
Yes, yes, and then we can all. I only had a couple left, so I gotta get some. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today and listen to us talk a little bit about Content Marketing World. And we will be back next week as we continue our special episodes of Live with CMI. Next week at 1 p.m., we'll be chatting with another amazing speaker, Jante Delane, about podcasting. So that should be another great episode. And we hope you will consider registering and joining us in San Diego. So until then, everyone have a great week. And